Gina.
Steph, you'd already heard me say we're ready when you are.
Oh, sometimes that way.
Five seconds then.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this meeting of the Emergency Committee, which is being held in accordance with the 2020 coronavirus regulations. I would ask all attendees tuning in to mute their microphones unless they have been invited to speak by the chair. If anyone wishes to speak, please use the raise hand function, and I will invite you in turn to put your microphones on at the appropriate point. When you are finished speaking, please remember to turn off your microphone again. Following questions and a debate, in order to make a decision on the item, I will ask the Chief Executive to do a roll call asking committee members whether they are for, against or wish to abstain from voting on the proposal. Please note that this meeting is being live streamed via the Council website and will also be available to view by members of the public and the press who are allowed to, by law, film, audio record, take photographs, blog or tweet at this meeting. Before we start, can I ask all committee members present to introduce themselves in turn? On myself, I'm Councillor Maria Compton, and I'm chair of the committee. Councillor Ali?
Yeah, Councillor Wasim Ali, Cabinet Member for Resources and Core Services.
Councillor Millard?
Councillor Danny Millard, Cabinet Member for Inclusive Economic Growth.
Okay, Councillor Moore, do we have Councillor Moore? We don't appear to have Councillor Moore. Okay, Councillor Shaheen?
Yeah, Councillor Farrokh Shaheen, Cabinet Member for Living Health.
Okay, I think we had apologies from you, Councillor Shaheen, so I'm pleased to see that you're here. Have we had any other apologies?
No, Chair.
Okay. Right. Okay, then members to declare an interest in matters to be discussed at the meeting. Does anyone have any interest to declare? No? Okay. Additional items of business. I'm not aware of any additional items of business today. So we move on to agenda item 4, which is the discretionary test and trace support payment scheme policy. Can I ask the Revenues and Benefits Service Manager to present the report? Ian, can you present the report, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Okay, the report seeks approval of the discretionary test and trace support payment scheme policy. At the end of September 2020, the Department of Health and Social Care introduced test and trace support payments, both non-discretionary and discretionary support payments from the 28th of September. And it's for people who are required to self-isolate because they've either tested positive for COVID-19 or have been identified by the NHS Test and Trace as a close contact. They want all local authorities to commence making payments from the 12th of October. In order to achieve this, the discretionary policy needs to be in place. We've subsequently received further guidance from the Department of Health and Social Care on the discretionary test and trace support payments on the 30th of September, details of funding on the 2nd of October, and further guidance on the 6th of October. The guidance details qualifying criteria for the discretionary scheme and stipulates that the council must publish their scheme. To receive the main non-discretionary test and trace support payment of £500, you must have been asked to self-isolate by the NHS Test and Trace on or after the 28th of September, either because you've tested positive for coronavirus or have recently been in close contact with someone who has tested positive. You must be employed or self-employed. You must be unable to work from home and will lose income as a result. And you must be currently receiving universal credit, working tax credit, income-based employment support allowance, income-based job seekers allowance, income support, housing benefit and/or pension credit. To be considered for the test and trace discretionary support payment scheme of £500, a person must have been asked to self-isolate by the NHS Test and Trace on or after the 28th of September, either because they've tested positive for coronavirus or have recently been in close contact with someone who has tested positive. You must be employed or self-employed, be unable to work from home and will lose an income as a result of being at home, be on a low income and be suffering financial hardship. The Department of Health and Social Care have prescribed the above criteria to local authorities. They have advised that a test and trace support scheme should be available to make applications from the 12th of October, and support payments should be made within 3 days from the receipt of the applications. The scheme will run until the 31st of January 2021. Revenues and benefits staff are currently awaiting access to the contact and trace system so we can verify the NHS track and trace and the isolation period. The isolation period is key because in effect the isolation period is for 14 days and then the application process that prescribed to us is you've got 14 days after the isolation period ends. So in effect, any time during that 28-day period, people can make an application for this support payment. Sandwell's received funding of £189,000 for the main test and trace support scheme, and this will be funded more if the demand increases. And for the discretionary scheme, we've received £113,000. The £113,000 for the discretionary scheme is cash limited and means that we can support 227 people from the 28th of September until the 31st of January 2021. The government's given indicative figures in relation to how many applications local authorities are expected to receive, and they've said that roughly be about 4 applications per day. Now that's a national figure, it's not a local figure for Sandwell, so it's non-specific for Sandwell at this moment in time. The Department of Health and Social Care have confirmed that they'll review the test and trace support scheme between October and January 21, but I have confirmed that they will not give local authorities any further funding for the discretionary scheme for this period. They'll also decide if the scheme needs to continue after the 31st of January 2021. That summarises the report, and thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ian. That was very helpful. I've noticed that Councillor Moore's joined us, which I'm very pleased for. So we've got a full house at the moment. Have we got any questions, anyone? No? No questions to be raised?
No one's up, Chair.
No?
Sorry, Linda, Chair, just quickly. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so just very quickly, I mean, I welcome the report and I welcome the support that the government is providing. My only concern is, and I've had this conversation with officers when I was briefed on the report, is the fact that the number of 4 cases per day, and if that's what they're relying upon, we know that Sandwell is one of the most deprived local authorities across the country, and I anticipate way more than 4 persons per day. And in effect of that, what we're looking to do is write to government to see if we can further funding. So if it's not, so they don't base it on national averages, but they actually give us detailed analysis of how the Sandwell would potentially, how many people would claim this funding. And I think that would be a more appropriate way in working out how much money we would be able to use for this scheme.
Yeah, thank you for that, Councillor Ali. I agree. The number of cases that we've got at the moment is above the national average, I believe, by way, and so therefore the chances are that will be more people that would be needing help via this assistance. So I think, yes, I think that this is at the moment underfunded, and I do have concerns about that. Have we got any more questions from anyone else? It's still welcome anyway, isn't it? Any additional funding is still welcome.
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, was that it? Okay. In that case, then, if there are no further questions, I'll hand over to the Chief Executive for a vote
Thank you.
on this. Thank you.
Chair. Councillor Crompton, for, against or abstain?
For.
Councillor Ali, for, against or abstain.
For.
Councillor Millard, for, against or abstain.
For.
Councillor Moore, for, against or abstain.
For.
Councillor Shaheen, for, against or abstain.
For.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. In that case, everyone appears to be in favour with that recommendation, so that is approved. So, as I say, we may need a greater amount, I think, going forward, but we'll have to wait and see what we can get. But as I say, this is welcome. And with that, the meeting is completed, and I will therefore close the meeting. Thank you, everyone, for attending.